I'd never heard of this before seeing this project, of people eating things that are alive. So so squid, fish, insects, and Minsu, in response to a kind of set brief about synthetic biology, imagined an ethical alternative to this, which he has background in robotics. So this is pretty simple stuff for him technically, but I think is quite fantastically kitsch and theatrical, and another reason I chose it is that this sort of work generally, in terms of a collaboration with scientists, play more of a kind of advisory role in that the methodology that they follow in the design interactions department is about speculating in the future, but with quite a lot of attention to detail, to the idea of it being very, very plausible, but also critical at the same time. Scientists have a pretty interesting relationship with his work, particularly when it goes out into the world. And it often, in the case of something like synthetic biology, it often actually becomes a way in which scientists in conferences present their vision and how they imagine that their work could go in the future. But the intention of the designer or the artist is often critical. And I think there's an interesting thing that happens there when this stuff goes out into the world and it loses that critical edge sometimes. So I think that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
I was actually one of the lab rats at Glastonbury, and there's a lot of connections actually between my background and interests and some of the things that Louis already very eloquently brought up for us. So I was trained in psychology, philosophy and neuroscience, so I worked around brain scanners like this, and also with computational modelling, but increasingly realised that the questions I wanted to ask required interrogating and playing with it rather than using it properly. So I worked on this theatre project with a writer during my PhD where we made fictional vignettes about how ways of looking at the brain altered people's perceptions of themselves through time, and we performed them as public engagement events. And then during my Master's in Science Communication, which I did after my PhD, which was great fun after summer writing my thesis, I was